Hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here to react to the 11th episode of Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated. Now, if you're wondering why we're on episode 11, why 1 through 10 aren't on the channel, I made a separate video for that. The video is called Mystery Inc. Where's the First 10? So please check that out. It explains everything. Just wanted to make a separate video because otherwise it would take up like all of this time explaining it here. And I just decided I didn't want a long pre-thoughts for this video. I'll give you a gist of things here though. Back in the day, years and years ago, like on my old channel, prior to even starting this one, I reacted to the first 10 episodes of Mystery Inc. and then promptly dropped it. I dropped it because I didn't like how one of the characters was portrayed, specifically Velma, and honestly, that was pretty much the only main reason. And I admit nowadays that that might have not been the best reason to drop it, but I wasn't really enjoying the series because I was so, like, keyed in on how much I hated this portrayal of Velma. So I want to give it another shot. I want to give it another chance, and so we're doing that today. And hopefully we continue to do that. So that's the short version. The long version that goes into more detail is in that other video. It'll explain more on why I dropped it and all of that. But let's talk about where we left off. So the last episode that, again, I reacted to years ago was Howl of the Fright Hound. This one was the 10th episode, and most of these are episodic, so not too much to worry about there. But there is an ongoing story that the last episode did continue on. See, there's been this ongoing story of an original Mystery Inc. gang being slowly revealed about throughout the season. And part of this entire mystery is this parrot named Mr. Pericles, who in the last episode, episode 10, went missing from an asylum he was at. We don't know all of the details as of yet. We don't know everything going on. So it's kind of up in the air at the moment as to what the big mystery is going to be when solved, mind you. We have this mysterious Mr. E, subtle, who is kind of giving the clues to our current gang. And yeah, it's really interesting. I really have no clue exactly where this is going. Because here's the thing. I know a couple things that happen in this series beyond where I got. One of which I think is only subtly put in here, because, you know, networks at the time wouldn't allow it to be anything more than subtle. But there's a couple things. And unfortunately, like, I don't know pretty much anything about them. I guess that's not unfortunately. I was thinking about that as I was talking. I'm like, wait, unfortunately. But I don't really know much of any, like, details about them. It's just a couple things I know. But just a quick rundown of, like, other stuff. Like, there's been a lot of, like, references to, like, old Scooby-Doo Where Are You episodes, especially in episode 1, which had a bunch of the enemies from that series in the museum. And you've just had a bunch of various things here and there. A bunch of different enemies. There's the Ghost Rig episode, Revenge of the Man Crab. Uh, duh, duh, duh. Oh, yeah, yeah. I remember the Song of Mystery episode, where there's the girl who wanted a Crystal Cove with no adults, like in this utopia of only kids. Yeah, and throughout time, we could see through looking at these episodes that there is more that keeps being brought up about Mr. E and whatnot, and the just overall mystery. Episode 7 had the Hex Girls come in, so that was fun. Included their two main songs from the Witch's Ghost movie, which is also very fun. There's also a cameo from Vincent Van Gogh in that one. So yeah, seems like most of it still is very episodic. It's just a lot of it is also building up this ongoing overarching mystery about kind of everything, I guess. So it's going to be interesting to see where this goes and as we give it another shot. Now, one last thing before we begin. Apparently, the series is on Netflix, but I did not know that before I downloaded episode 11. So this episode is not going to be on Netflix because I just have it downloaded. But from the next episode on, probably will. Um, just to make it easier on me and everything. So yeah, I only found that out after I had already downloaded the episode. um, but we should just get into this, hope for the best, and hope that I can get over Velma in this. Um, Not as bad as like the Velma from the Velma series, Mindy Kaling and all that. Like that's a lot worse. But hey, for all I know, maybe that'll help me get through it. It's just the fact that I know there's been worse. That would be funny if that actually helped me get through it. Um, but yeah, yeah. I'm definitely excited, honestly, to give this another shot, and hopefully I end up proving myself wrong. So, let's get this going. When the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, excuse me. That being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So yeah, outside of the stuff with mystery, helping them solve the mystery, and then the dude watching them at the end who might be working for mystery, clearly isn't supposed to be mystery though. Outside of that stuff, this was just another episodic adventure. Um, Dealing with this vampires stealing all these varied things to try and create, as we find out, an elixir of life, basically. And yeah, it's obvious it's not Daphne's mom. But I felt like the other lady, it was also way too obvious for. Like, she just felt like, oh yeah, of course this lady. Like, did you see the way, like, she pulled Daphne's mom into the place, like gliding across the floor like that? It's like it just felt way too obvious. Sometimes some of these shows can do that where it's just like it is the obvious person, but it's like at least try to do it better. Like, maybe only have that person, like, show up for one scene before, but having them continue to show up, it just, it doesn't work when you then reveal it, because it's like, oh, everybody's going to see that coming because it's too obvious. It would have actually kind of been better if it was Daphne's mom, honestly. I think that would have, I think that would have been more interesting. But, eh. Now, the gang kind of falling apart, especially with Velma and Shaggy's breakup and everything, fueling this. It's like, we know they're going to get back together. There's no real tension here. There's no issues like that we have any sense of believing are going to stick. And it's just, it just feels like needless drama for the sake of drama. It doesn't feel naturally integrated. It's not like the worst thing, but still. Now, as for Velma's assholery, it's like, Velma is pretty terrible, yes, in this version. And like I said, maybe not as terrible as, like, the Mindy Kaling version, but still. You have her literally, like, try to manipulate Shaggy in a way that there was no way he could have positively answered her with the entire bikini thing. Because the thing is, it's like, how do you like my bikini? It's like, are you even wearing one? It's like, yeah, seriously. And your entire thing is, oh, but the sun, I don't want my skin getting all, like, alligatory and shit. And it's like, then don't ask how your bikini looks when nobody can even tell you're wearing a bikini. That is so manipulative. It's like, I get that she and Shaggy are not, like, in the best of relationships right now, but seriously, that's fucked up. You don't do that to someone. Especially someone who is very clear you still have feelings for. It's like she's trying to manipulate him into making a, in her eyes, proper apology. But in the end, she's just making herself look more like an asshole. Like, this comes across as a her problem, not a Shaggy problem. And that's the biggest issue here. It's like, if we're supposed to side with her, you can't make her out to be like this. That's just not how this works. If you want us to side with her, you either have to show Shaggy having been in the wrong, or you have to make her likable enough to where we want to side with her. And neither of those things are done here. But hopefully things change for the better. Because, like, yeah, she still really irritates me. Like I said, maybe not as bad as the Velma series version, but still pretty bad. It's like, just the thing is, it's just, this is not like any other version of Velma, and not in a good way. The problem is, Velma is not supposed to be like this. And I have no problem with changing the characters up a little, with updating them for more modern times. But why is Velma an asshole? Is that how you changed her up? Again, making Fred obsessed with traps and all, like, I get the joke there, and it's not bad. And again, Daphne, Shaggy, and Scooby are pretty much the same as they always were. it's like you don't have to have an asshole in the group. You don't have to have like the one rude character. Not every series needs that. Just because stuff like TMNT and whatnot have that. Honestly, Velma in this is much worse than Raphael I think ever was. It's it's just confusing. Like, why? Why would you do that with her? It just makes no sense. And I don't know. It just seems like they also don't like put as much focus on Velma's intelligence in this version either. Like they try to make her seem more like a know-it-all than someone who's actually really intelligent and observant. There is a difference there. She comes across as a know-it-all who's more of a smarmy asshole than actually an intelligent, observant detective. And it just it doesn't work. So my only hope is that they end up dropping that entire thing and end up making her a lot better. At this point, it wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't work at all because it would just feel out of place to like completely turn her personality around. But maybe if you at least make it so that she realizes she's been an asshole and then, you know, starts bettering herself, I could get behind that at least. But you gotta at least do that. I don't know. It just annoys me, and it's something again because Velma was my always my favorite Scooby Doo character. It's just it bothers me on a notable level that she's my least favorite in this series so far, mind you. Um, but yeah, let me know your thoughts on this episode in the comments below. For right now, we are obviously continuing this, and hopefully we continue this, and hopefully it turns around. So we'll see. But thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.